Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It's 10:11 p.m. on this beautiful Indianapolis fall evening. And it is really beautiful. It's like 66 degrees outside. It's not cool, but it's not hot. Cool enough to have a sweatshirt on. Alex just went to bed and he was taking the dogs out, and I had been napping while he was watching TV. He was watching the Kardashians and then the Real Housewives of Orange County. It was like this catch up. He was watching it in bed on our TV in the bedroom. And then he was watching Lucifer. And I was kind of like, I was asking him questions as I was like half asleep. I was like, what's going on with all this stuff that was happening on the Kardashians? And then I was kind of like listening to the Orange County thing. It was like a catch up from like the very beginning to now. And then I fell asleep some point at the beginning, some point between Vicky and Tamra, the beginning of Tamra, I fell asleep on Orange County. And then when I woke up, he was watching Lucifer, and I turned over and I said, "Are you watching Lucifer?" I said, it just ended, and I said, "Were you watching Lucifer?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "I could tell just from the voices." Because I like sleep when he watches these shows, and so now I know the TV shows just by the voices. Isn't that so funny? Anyway, had such a great nap. Oh, but anyway, he took the dogs outside and I shouted down. I said, "Is it cool?" And he said, "All right, so what's the weather like?" And he said, "It's cool, it's getting cool." And I said, "Okay." And so I put a hoodie on instead of a t-shirt, and I'm just like perfectly comfortable. But anyway, it's really nice outside. I was just listening to a little bit of my audiobook, kind of waking up to vlog, and I'm listening to, I started a new audiobook, and it is called Louisiana Long Shot, and it is by, I don't want it to start playing, let me tell you, it's by Jana DeLeon, and somebody recommended it to me on my BookTube video, because I'm into these like cozy mysteries now, and I really wanted to get into like a good series. It's about this woman, and she's a CIA agent, and she like assassinated or killed some like arms dealer or something in like the Middle East. And so there's like a hit out on her for like $1 million if she's dead and $10 million if she's alive. So, and there's a leak in the CIA. This is all in the beginning of it, so I'm not ruining it for anybody if you want to. I mean, this is literally like in the first 5 minutes of the audiobook. So there's a leak in the CIA, so her director and this other guy have to like hide her. And so they hide her in this town called Sinful, Louisiana. And she's supposed to be like his niece who is like going there because her great aunt recently died and she inherited this Victorian. Of course it's a Victorian house. I was telling Tanya this, and I go, of course it's the Victorian. She goes, of course, because everybody wants to move into a town and inherit a Victorian because they're like the cutest houses, aren't they? I love Victorian houses. So anyway, we have a street here in Indianapolis, and the whole street is all Victorians. They're really cute. I should drive by there and show it to you guys. You wouldn't really be able to see it during... I think I actually have vlogged down that street one day, but you can't really see anything on the street at night anyway. But I am going to drive. I'm going to do this one, taking a different route this time. Well, I've taken this route the last couple times, but anyway, so I'll go past the street, kind of. So when I get there, I will, I'll go down that way and show you guys. We'll see if there's any like Halloween lights or anything going on that street. The houses are so cute. But anyway, so yeah, the book is really good so far. I'm only like 40 minutes into it. I hope it's not playing. Sometimes my audiobook plays, like, it's not good. I'm only like 40 some minutes into it, and the book is only 7 hours and 20 minutes. It's real short. So, yeah, I had a great day today. Got up. I told you guys last night, I pre-filmed. I told you guys. I never say it that way. Because it's always just like I'm talking to like, it feels like I'm talking to just like one person or something when I'm in here. But anyway, I had pre-filmed almost all of my videos last night. So I got up today and we went to brunch. And I had we met Sarah for brunch because Sarah was going, Alex's friend Sarah, going to Ulta to get some shampoo and stuff. So that's right across from where we go to eat, kind of. It's on the other side of the street where the mall is. So she was like, well, what are you guys doing? He's like, we're going to brunch. And she was like, do you care if I meet you? And he was like, no, not at all. So she joined us, and we sat outside, and it was beautiful. And she just had cinnamon toast. Alex had his regular of turkey chili. They have his turkey chili back again. And then he had his Cuban breakfast. I had the California Dreamer with potatoes, breakfast potatoes. And then I had an everything bagel with cream cheese on it. And then I also took home an egg salad sandwich with avocado on toasted wheat bread with chips. So I have that for later tonight. I'm real excited. Anyway, and then we came home, and I had told Tanya I wanted to get a pedicure because I haven't been in forever, and she wanted to go too, so she called and got us appointments to go get pedicures. So I came home and dropped Alex off. He was going to go over to his brother's, but they ended up deciding that they're going to like, he and his brother are just going to go to dinner like one night this week. So, he stayed at home and just kind of like he watched TV all afternoon. And then I went and got Tanya, and we went and got our feet done, and that was really fun. And my feet are like perfection now. They're like smooth, and I got clear polish on my toenails. They look really nice. And little weird flex, but people always tell me I have nice feet, which I think it's kind of a weird compliment when people tell you that. People are like, well, my legs, I've kind of like hairy legs, and I hated it when I was growing up as a kid, like when I was in like high school and stuff like that. But now it's funny because like I'll be like in a gas station, and it's always women. They're always like, you have really nice legs. And I'm like, thank you. And I was like really apprehensive about ever showing my legs when I was younger because my legs are like really like thick. Like I have like tree trunk legs, and they look like naturally muscular, but they're not. Like I don't think they are, but I get that compliment a lot, which I always think is funny. They fixed this construction right here. Oh my God, it's smooth now. But like people will tell me, they'll be like, you have really nice feet. And I'm like, thank you. I don't know what I think about that compliment. I think that's kind of a strange compliment. I know some people are into feet. I'm not, but anyway. I've been finishing up. Oh, and then before I went to pick up Tanya, I did a review and I compared, I didn't even check. I meant to check to see if people were liking that video or not. Speedway coffee to Starbucks coffee. It was fun to do the comparison study. And I got my iced coffee. But tonight, for the drive, I brought, a new kind of LaCroix that I haven't tried before. LaCroix Passion Fruit. I don't think I've ever tried this one before, so let's try it, and I will tell you what I think. Smells fruity. Ooh, I like it. Tastes kind of like grapefruit. Yep, passion fruit. Yeah, it tastes kind of like, it tastes kind of like grapefruit. It's good though. I was gonna say, is there another fruit that it reminds me of? Like mango. Mangoes are my favorite fruit. This little FYI. It doesn't remind me of mangoes. It reminds me of something else. Maybe starfruit? Oh, that's good. It tastes very crisp and clean. So anyway, Tanya and I went and got our feet done, and then I took her to get a fountain pop, and then we drove around and talked for a little bit afterwards. And had a fun talk, just kind of caught up and stuff. And then after I dropped her off, she and I had been talking about these meetings that I used to go to, and I had totally forgotten that my old sponsor, like a week ago, called me like twice just to check in, and like one day and then the next. And so I was like thinking that maybe he needed something. He didn't say. He just was like, give me a call back when you get a chance. And I had totally forgotten to call him back. So I called him, and he and I caught up and had a really nice conversation. And I love him. He's such a great guy. And then I called my cousin Caroline, and we talked forever about all different kinds of stuff. But we ended up at the end talking about like my grandma and stuff. the woman that found out the information about like my grandma's like prison records and stuff, the last time she emailed me, she said something about being surprised about my grandma's, like the amount of husbands that she had. And I emailed her back, and she said, and she didn't respond, and I emailed her on the 5th, and what is today? Today is the 11th, so it's been like a week, and I haven't heard back from her. Because I didn't know what she was talking about. I was like, well, I only know that my grandma was married twice. So if there are other marriages there, I am completely unaware of that, you know? But would I be surprised if my grandma, I wouldn't be surprised at anything at this point, have been married more than twice? No, I wouldn't be surprised by that. But it, you know, I don't know. So anyway, one of the things that she had said in her email was that as a genealogist, what she suggests is like setting up a timeline of like facts that we do know. And I was telling Caroline that like one of the things that had occurred to me was that we have pictures up to like a certain point, and then there's like no pictures of like our moms between like when my mom was like 6 and like a freshman in high school. Like I don't know where those pictures are. And so Caroline and I were talking about how we were going to get all the pictures together, and we were going to go through, because on the back they used to write like the dates on the pictures, and we were going to go through them and write down like the dates of what we know, and like try to piecemeal stuff together with a timeline. And then what we didn't know, we were going to like start asking like certain like family friends that we had. We were like going through like who we wanted to ask, and Caroline's like, I mean, she wasn't saying it morbidly, but she was basically saying like, she said, if we're going to talk to these people, we've got to start asking them soon. She was like, because mom would have been 78. Basically saying like, some of these people are not going to be around forever. Like, if, you know, like our history is kind of like, it's dying currently, you know? And I was telling her, I said, I wish I had just like known the questions that I wanted. I mean, at that time I didn't know the questions that I wanted to ask. Today I feel like I do. Or I would have asked her mom. And I think that her mom would have told me the answers to the questions that I wanted to know. And I almost kind of feel like people know stuff and they don't want to tell us because they think, like I said, I feel like people that I've talked to don't want to tell us like the whole picture, because like they think that like if my grandma had really been to prison like 4 times or something, you know, or if they had been in like you know, and she goes, would you think of grandma any different? Like I said, what if grandma like was truly like a con, you know? And she goes, would it make you think any differently ever? And I said, no, not at all. Like, but you know, like my image of my grandma is what I remember from literally like being a little kid to like when she passed away. I only have good memories of my grandma, which that's what I judge her on, you know, like this grandma that did all these things. I mean, it's almost kind of like, it's easy for me to be intrigued and fascinated by it because I don't feel like I'm connected, or I'm not emotionally connected to that grandma. Like I don't know that grandma, if that makes sense. But a lot of it I think would make sense. And so finally Caroline and I were talking about it, and she said, do you care this much about all of this? And it was like such an interesting question. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, do you really care? She was like, because once we start looking, like we may find out a lot more than we want to know. And she was like, I get very easily consumed with this kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, I want to know. And she was like, well, why is it important to you? And so Caroline and I ended up having this like philosophical conversation. It was really actually very nice, about like why it was important to me to like know this information, and that it explained a lot of family history to me, and that it made a lot of sense about like my relationship with my mom and things that would come up, and my mom's relationship with her sister, because at times it was a volatile relationship. At times they loved each other, but it was kind of like, you know, sometimes it was a little crazy. And I think it would make sense, you know? And she was like, okay, so it makes sense and you would understand it. I said, I'm just intrigued because it's my family history. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it past that. Like, I just want to know my family history. You know, it's interesting to me. And she was like, okay. And I said, are you not interested? And she said, I mean, not the way that you are. She was like, but I think that once I like start looking into it, I'm going to become that way. And I said, you mean like, she goes, because she's like, Peter, you know, like I get interested in something like, and I delve real deep into it to the point, she goes, where I could see myself like looking through pictures all day long and trying to piece stuff together. And then like Mike is like, why isn't the house clean kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like, and I said, oh, like, did you watch Don't F with Cats. And she was like, yeah, like those people. And I said, oh no, I'm the same way. And she was like, we both have time, but do we have that much time that we really want to take this on? And I said, I want to know. Like, I kind of would like to know these things. So we agreed that we are going to, like, because we've, like, talked about it, but really not really done anything with it, that we're going to start putting some energy and effort into it. You know, like, I told Caroline, like, my mom has 2 friends from high school that I think are still alive. One I talked to a couple years ago. She called out of the blue, and we were going to get together. I don't know that she would tell me anything, even if she knew something. I just feel like she wouldn't. And then the other one, I don't know that she would tell. And these are 2 really close friends of mine, from my mom's from high school. I don't know that she would either. And then this couple, I think I've talked about this, at my aunt's funeral, came to my aunt's funeral, and like, we had never met them before. They didn't come to my mom's funeral. I think they said why they didn't come to my mom's funeral. I think they said they didn't know about it till afterwards or something like that. And it was like this older couple. It was like this man and this woman and then this man. It was like this woman's husband, and then it was like this woman's brother. And the 3 of them came to my aunt's funeral. Her, like, viewing and funeral were the same day. And they came. It was like a viewing, and then it, like, the funeral was right after that. And, is that how it was? I think that's how it was. Or was it was 2 different days? I think it was the same day. I can't even remember. It feels like it was the same day. So anyway, maybe it was different days. Whatever it was, they came just for I remember them being at the viewing. I don't know about the funeral. But, like, they were like, oh, we loved your moms, and they used to come and stay with us some summers. We remember them coming and staying with us, like, in one summer or something like that, and then we went and visited them. It would have been when they were real young. And I wish we knew who they were. I wish we knew their names, because I would call them up, and I think they would tell me. Because they were, like, first cousins of our moms. But, you know, even then, she was probably in her mid-70s, and so was her brother. So, I mean, they might not even be around anymore, you know? I don't know, I just feel like, you know, and then there's my mom and my aunt's friend that lives in our neighborhood that knew them in high school and went to school with them. And I remember when I looked at her that day, because I think my mom's friend Susie, like, my mom's friend Susie didn't meet her. My mom's friend Susie didn't meet my mom until she was in college, and she knew my aunt first, and she's friends with my dad and stuff like that. But, like, I've asked her so many questions since my mom passed away, and, like, Susie just doesn't know. Like, when I asked her about my grandma, she was like, yeah, and she told me what she knew. But, like, I've asked her so many times, like, what else do you know? And she's like, Peter, I just don't know anything. Like, I don't remember your mom saying anything about it. You know, she's like, but she wouldn't. She and your aunt were so, like, they wouldn't have wanted people to know, I think, based out of shame and things like that. I don't know. So I really believe that Susie doesn't know, because Susie would have told me something. But our other neighbor, like, our other person that knew my mom, like, that neighbor the woman that lives in our neighborhood, she knew my mom from the time that my mom was, like, a freshman in high school. So I'm kind of wondering if she knows more. Because when I looked at her and I said, did you know? And she said everybody knew. But then the timing of the dates of when... But she didn't go to college with our moms. So the fact that the dates of when we found out that my grandma went to prison, which would have been, like, almost after my mom was done with college, I think, wouldn't have coincided with everybody knew. Unless it was, like, a huge scandal in Indianapolis, you know, which I don't know, maybe it was. Which means there would have maybe been, like, more than one time that she went to prison. And then I said to Caroline, I said, I do remember my mom saying that, like, we moved, like, she said I went to, like, 10 different schools when I was growing up, you know? And I was like, that would almost kind of be consistent with foster care. like moving schools constantly, you know? Which would also explain my aunt's like need to be so protective of my mom. I don't know, like it's just like I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I need to know for me, you know? Like maybe not every answer, I don't need to know everything, but it just like if I could at least know like, well, this is what my mom's life really looked like, you know, so I'd have a little bit better understanding of it. I think I don't need to know every, you know, thing they did and every, you know, little, I don't need to know everything they didn't want anybody to know, but I do think like major things like that I'd like to know. It's interesting to me, and I think it would explain stuff about my family history. And Caroline and I's family history dies with Caroline and I, you know? Well, really with her son. And he's not interested in it, so... I was telling Caroline today, I said, because like we talked forever on the phone. I just drove around while I was talking to her because I was on my way home, and after I got off the phone talking to my old sponsor, and so I got home to the house, and I said, it's so weird, Caroline, like as we're having this conversation, like literally in my head, I kept on hearing like the answers in your house. I said, I feel like everything that I'm looking for is like in the house somewhere, and she's like, in your basement? And I was like, yeah, in my basement. And she was like, well, I should just come over sometime. And I said, Caroline, I said, no. She was like, the basement can't be that bad. Because she's come over, but I haven't had her down in the basement. I said, Caroline, the basement is bad. It's like, it's an organized mess. She's like, well, we can just go through everything. And I said, well, the problem is that when I moved in, it was like my mom's stuff and my stuff. But now I've like mixed stuff together. Like, all of the pictures are mixed together. Like every picture that I have 2 huge plastic bins that I literally have just like chucked pictures, because I find pictures here, pictures there, pictures in frames. I have like all the scrapbooks in there. So it's literally just like, I mean, like 2 feet deep worth of pictures. Just, you know, just random pictures from like high school of me to my mom and dad being together to me being a little kid to me in my apartment to like, I mean, it's just all these pictures that like there's no rhyme or reason to. I don't even know why I keep them all, honestly. It's like, what for, you know? But aren't pictures something that's really hard to throw out? Like I was looking at them one day and I was like, am I just gonna move these tubs from place to place to place? And then I was like, who is gonna want these pictures once I'm gone? Like when I'm gone, I have no kids. Alex doesn't even know 99% of the people that are in these pictures. That probably more than 99 he doesn't know. So he's not gonna ever want those pictures. Like why am I keeping these pictures, you know? And then I thought, well, who knows? Maybe someday I'll want to put together some kind of recollection of my life, you know? But other than that, the other stuff that's down there is like books and movies, and it's really like everything else I've kind of like cleaned out and gotten rid of. But the other thing is, you know, like when my mom passed away, I didn't know all this stuff. I didn't know this stuff till like 2 years later. So I didn't know to go down there and look for family history kind of stuff. Hell, I might have thrown out something that meant something. I did throw out a lot of stuff of my grandmother's. I may have thrown out something that my mom was keeping that made sense to this whole thing about my grandma, that now I don't have it. You know what I mean? Who knows? I know there's probably some of you out there that are like, why do you care about this stuff? I can't explain it. I don't know why I care about it. But it means something to me, you know? I also think about this book that my aunt wanted me to write. It's like, she wanted me to write it with her about like how tough of a life grandma had and how she grew up, and my aunt and all this stuff, alluding to like, look how far they had come kind of thing. And I look back on that and I think, well, Shirley, and don't call me Shirley, surely she would have had to have known that if we were going to write that book, like we would have had to have included my grandma being in prison. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how are we going to write around that huge elephant in the room? You know what I mean? Like, unless they just kind of acted like it never happened or something. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's so bizarre to me. So that was my talk with Caroline. We had a great talk. And we started talking about, like, the holidays and, like, Halloween. And she said, you guys can come over for chili if you want. She's like, but I'm not having the party, obviously. And I said, no, that's cool. But I said, I think we're gonna go over to Melissa and Jason's, because they do, like, you know, she does chili every year. So I think we're gonna do that. And then we're talking about Christmas, and she's like, well, I'm sure that we'll do dinner or something. She's like, I'm sure it'll be boring. I said, Caroline, don't say that. It won't be boring. We'll have fun. It'll be nice. It was good to talk to her. I love my cousin so much. I said at the end, I said, look at us being, because I was talking to her about the Midnight Library, and I was telling her what it was about, and she was like, oh my God, that sounds so depressing. Why would I want to read that book? And I said, Caroline, no, it is like, which was funny because Tanya had said the same thing. I said, it is one of the most inspirational, motivating, hopeful books I've ever read in my life. You would love it. And she said, okay. I said, you need to listen to it on Audible, because she listens to Audible books too. So we were talking about that and just our belief systems about life. And I was telling her, I said, you know, it's a lot about, like, how these insignificant small things in our lives, like, the small things sometimes are bigger in the grand scheme of things. They have more importance than we give them credit, you know, at the time of happening. These little insignificant things, just like maybe meeting somebody on the road or being in somebody's life, you don't even realize that you're, like, that's a big part of the book. Just being in somebody's life, you don't realize that you're impacting them on a level that, and it could be on a level that, like, maybe it's an actor in a TV show or a movie that, like, impacts you, and if that actor wasn't alive or that TV show wasn't on, like, your life would be so profoundly different as a result of it. Like, do you ever think about that? Like, TV shows and movies and YouTube and things like that, or a book that you read, like if this book didn't exist in my life, if this guy hadn't been alive to read this book, would it maybe, like, impact, like, I wouldn't have maybe had the same conversation I had with Caroline today, you know? It's like these little insignificant things that we don't really think about really play out bigger in the grand scheme of things. And she was like, oh yeah, I believe that too. And we got in this whole conversation about it. And I said, look at us being philosophical cousins. I said, we are just solving the world's problems, aren't we? She got laughing. She was like, you're so funny. So anyway, and then I came home and I put my review video up. And then I lay down and I took a nap, because I wanted to relax today, since I had filmed all those videos. I never usually take a nap on, well, if I take a nap on Sundays, I mean, it's later, but I took a nap early, like 7:30ish. Yeah. And then I got up, and now I'm here. Little Boo Radley was being so cute. Tucker, it's so cute. Okay. So we now have, like, Tucker has both of his comfort blankets on the bed. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, when Pee-Pee passed away, this woman named Jennifer, who watches my videos, if you're out there, hey Jennifer, how are you? And she crocheted these two blankets, crocheted or knitted, but I think they're crocheted, these two blankets, and they're like this big, they're like 2 feet by 2 feet, and she called them comfort blankets, and one's for Boo Radley, or one's for Tucker and one's for Boo Radley. But Boo Radley doesn't lay on them. He won't lay. I don't know why. He doesn't really care about, he doesn't really know stuff like blankets or toys or whatever. But Tucker sleeps on them almost every single night. Like, he carries them with him, like, and he moves them on the bed, and they're always at the end of the bed. Well, on top of them, it started that I would lay, like, 3 of his favorite toys on there. And, like, Henry the Hippo and his big lady, which is Lamb Chop. And then the Grinch, because he loves the Grinch's hair, and he lays on the Grinch and licks its hair on top of its head, which the Grinch almost doesn't have any hair left, and all that kind of stuff. And then, where's the battery as I'm turning around? Okay, it still says it's full. So, but now, like, because they got birthday presents, Alex bought him a bunch of birthday stuffed animals, and then the stuffed animals that we get in all those boxes that I order, oh my lord, that I review, we just got 2 more, I gotta review those boxes. this week. So the Dapper Dog box and the, what's the other one called? It stopped. The Dapper Dog box and the Bark box, all the toys we get in there. So we had started just like bringing those toys up because they were on the couch downstairs, on the floor, they're everywhere, right? And we have this chair with this ottoman. It was my mom's old like black leather and chrome chair that she had, and I love it, in the bedroom, but the entire chair is covered in toys. Which, by the way, the other day, when we went to dinner with Melissa and Jason, we were talking about when we got the puppies, and Alex had all these pictures of like the first day that we got them. And so I was looking on there at the toys that we bought on that day, because we were in Seymour, Indiana, when we got the dogs from Seymour, or in Seymour, and we went to Walmart and we bought a little bed for them, and these two little stuffed animals, and one's like a rhino or a hippo. One's like a hippo and one's like, I don't know, like an elephant or something. One's pink and one's blue. And we bought them for them, and I found one of them in the chair. Its squeaker is gone, and I was like, Tucker, do you remember this baby? This was your very first baby. And he's so sweet. He was just like looking at me. But anyway, it's so funny. Tucker lays on the comfort blankets, and it has all the toys underneath it, and he like just spreads out like over all the toys and the comfort blankets. It's the sweetest thing in the entire world. And I said to Alex, I said, what do you think Tucker thinks that these stuffed animals are? Like, because I always call them his friends. I'm like, I always say something about his friends or his babies. And I'm like, are these your babies? Are these your, where's your baby? And he's so funny. And, like I can squeak one and then put it over here, and he'll start like going crazy with it and like tearing it like, and then like I can squeak another one, and then he's completely bored of that one. He now wants the new one. We can do that all day long. He's so sweet. And Alex said he was just laying there on one of them. He has like head over like this, it's like a little fish. He has head like over this fish. And I said, what do you think he thinks of all of his babies and his friends? And Alex said, I think he thinks his dads are these two guys are too lazy to play with me, so I'm gonna play with my little stuffed animals that I have. Boo Radley though, you know, it's so weird. I don't know if it's what it is about him. He doesn't get toys. Like, he doesn't understand it. And he doesn't understand treats a lot either. Like, I mean, when we got him and we first took him to the vet and stuff, and the woman that, like, we got him from, they all said, like, you know, he's, like, a little developmentally slow. And a lot, kind of. But, like, he'll take a treat and flip it in the air forever, and then he'll take it to the stairs, and he'll sit there and he'll, like, just either look at it for, like, 5 minutes, or he'll, like, play with it, or he'll, like, lick it forever. Or, like, if Alex gives him treats, like, he just gave him treats after he took them outside, and then, like, brings them upstairs to bed, Boo Radley will lay on the end of the bed, and he won't eat, like, Tucker eats his treats like that. Like, you give him a treat, like a begging strip, and it is, like, and we just give him, like, little bits of the begging strip. Well, our begging strips that we have are, like, little anyway. They're, like, that big. But if you give him a treat, I just had the most random thought in my head. I was like, you know, this is my 4th year. I don't know why I just had this thought. I was like, this is my 4th year of driving around just every night talking in my car about just the most random BS in the entire world. Like, I must be the most boring, uninteresting person in the entire world. I just I drive around and I talk about my dog's treats and my grandma that went to prison. I mean, all this crazy stuff that I just keep on talking about. It's like I've told the same stories 9 million times over here. It just must be so boring and uninteresting. But anyway, but I must not be bored of it because I keep on telling it, right? But anyway. So, like, Boo Radley will run up the stairs. He's so excited he's got this treat, right? And then he'll jump on the edge of the bed, and he'll just sit there, and, like, if you come near it, he, like, tries to go away. Like, he won't let you take the treat from him. But then, like, he'll just sit there, and he'll, like, kind of play with it with his paws, and he'll, like, lick it and whatever. But it's, like, it takes, like, 10 minutes for him to, like, ever, like, finally eat this treat. And sometimes he'll play with it forever and then just walk away from it, like he's bored. Like, now, he doesn't understand it. Like, he doesn't get it. Like, I don't know if he likes the smell of it and, like, the taste of it, but he doesn't know what to do with it. Like, he doesn't realize that it's not food or something. I don't know. I'm so confused. And, it's like with eating sometimes too, like, he doesn't do this now because we have like taught him to eat in his crate. Like Boo Radley eats in his crate. So we always like, I put a plate upstairs at the top of the stairs for Tucker, and I put a plate of food in Boo Radley's crate. If I don't feed them there, they won't eat. Pee-Pee used to eat in the kitchen. So we would have 3 plates, okay? They're these little white plates that were my mom's. They're old as the hills. And we put like a half a can to like 3/4 of a can on each of their plates, and we like cut it up with a fork, you know, so it's small for them to eat because it's easier, because their teeth are horrible. And that would be one piece of suggestion I would give to new dog owners. Take care of your dog's health, or take care of your dog's teeth, because it promotes good health in dogs, and they also live longer. And once their teeth are bad, there's really nothing that you can do about it. I wish we had brushed their teeth and taken care of their teeth at the beginning. Our vet told us, she's like, I think you should probably just have their teeth pulled. They've lost so many teeth at this point anyway. And I said, I was like, I said, but then they don't have any teeth. They can't, like, you know, play with toys or whatever, or eat food. She's like, no, they totally still can. They just use their back molars and stuff like that. They can eat just fine. And she's like, they're not really using their teeth right now anyway, which I thought was kind of bizarre. But anyway, so what was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying now. Oh, so Pee-Pee used to eat in the kitchen, and like we have a water bowl in the kitchen for all of the dogs, and we would just put Pee-Pee's plate right next to it. And the reason that we did this, beginning wise, was because Tucker would eat all of Boo Radley's food, number one. So we had to separate their food because they couldn't share food out of the same bowl. When they ate dry food, we would just scoop up a big bowl, and then they just kind of like, we would put it in their crate, and they ate it. They ate when they wanted to eat. Like, we didn't time it out. We didn't do like a dinner time or anything like that. When they go to the kennel, which they haven't been forever, you know, they get fed twice a day. So they get fed in the morning and the evenings. And since we feed them, we usually have them, like, they each get a half a can. So they'll get like a half a can in the morning and a half a can in the evening at the kennel, because they run a lot and stuff like that, and they're super active. And so I don't like Boo Radley to lose a lot of weight. Tucker could lose a little bit of weight and he'd be fine, but I don't want Boo Radley to lose any more weight. Although right now he's doing really well. He's like heavier than he's ever been, which is good. And I think it's because he's like not as active and he's eating like more. But anyway, and then when Pee-Pee had kidney disease, we had him on that special diet of that food that he hated. He would go around the corner, poor little guy. He would go around the corner and look at Tucker's food, because, so I would feed Pee-Pee in the kitchen. Well, depending, whoever fed him, me or Alex. We would put Pee-Pee's plate down in the kitchen, Tucker's plate on the slate floor. We have a slate floor like right in our entryway. That's kind of at the top of our stairs, so we would put it on that slate floor, and then Boo Radley in his house, in the crate. Downstairs in the basement, we would separate all 3 of them. That way they would eat alone and whatever. Well, Boo and Tucker still want to eat that way. I've tried to feed Tucker in the kitchen. He will not eat in the kitchen. I can put the plate down there, and he literally... Tanya Jean, wonder what she wants. He literally will not. I love that it comes up on my thing. I've never had a car that does that before. It comes up and it says Tanya. But anyway, Tanya Cell is what it says. He literally will not eat in the kitchen. I don't know if he like still thinks it's Pee-Pee's food area, or if he just realizes that the top of the entryway is his food area, or what. I don't know. It's so funny, like the world of dogs, like, and what they know. And, you know, I was thinking about this tonight. It's so funny because, like, you know how like dogs learn certain words? One of the words that Boo and Tucker know, and this is so funny because this has just been like Pee-Pee didn't ever, Pee-Pee wouldn't, I mean, if Pee-Pee was alive right now, he wouldn't know. If he came back, he wouldn't know this word. This has been a word they've learned in the last 6 months to a year, and that is nap. Do you want to go for a nap? As soon as I say that, both of them run to the stairs and run upstairs, like they know that we're going upstairs to go to bed, take a nap. Because I'm like, come on guys, let's go for a nap. And whenever I say nap, they run to the stairs and run up there. But that wasn't something that I said when Pee-Pee was alive, I don't know what I would have said, or I don't know why, but they didn't know that word back then. That's a word that they just recently learned. It's so funny. But just to see the world of, like, dogs is so crazy. I love just watching them and seeing, like, Tucker can literally entertain himself for hours with his toys. And it's funny because, like, he'll be laying there and, like, out of the corner you'll see, like, another toy will, like, catch his eye. And he'll, like, go over and he'll, like, lay his head on that toy or start playing with that toy. And you can see that, like, all of a sudden he's, like, now he's real interested in that toy. And he wants to see, you know what I mean? It's crazy. My nose is all of a sudden just, like, really bothering me. Every time I trim my beard, it does that for, like, a day or two. The problem is I need to trim my beard every, like, probably 2 or 3 days. I think that if I did it more often, I would get used to it. But I did cut the hair right around my nose, too. So that might... Or did I forget? Maybe that's why it is itching. It's because I didn't do it. Anyway, yeah. The life of dogs. It's like the same thing with, like, watching the birds and the squirrels. Oh my God, it was so funny today. I came home. This is when I was getting ready to leave to go and pick up. No, this is when I was going to do a review. I just dropped Alex off. And our neighbors, like, there's these big rocks in our neighborhood, you know, like, this, like, at the end of like, somebody's driveway by their mailbox, there'll be, like, a huge rock, you know? And our neighbor Laura's house, she has, like, a huge rock. Like, there's her mailbox, and then the rock, and then the driveway. And I looked over, and this squirrel was literally just sitting on top of the rock. It looked like it had, like, a nut next to it, like a squirrel, like a nut, like a squirrel, like an acorn or something right next to it. And it was just sitting on this rock, and, like, a car drove by, and it just kind of, like, sat there and kind of, like, looked at this car. And I thought, that is so hilarious that squirrel is just, like, watching the cars drive by on this rock, like, sunning itself. I've never seen, like, a squirrel just, like, sit there like that. I mean, I see them in yards, you know, and they'll, like, hop, or, like, you know, jump and hopping as bunnies, but, or rabbits. But I will say the other thing is, it's funny that, like, now that, like, I have been using the squirrel table so much, feeding the birds and the squirrels, like, we get so many animals, like, in our backyard and around our house. There are constantly animals around. And Alex was telling me, he said, do you know why we have this, like, thistleweed looking stuff in our backyard? And we're, like, the only ones that have it. It's like this big thistleweed. He was like, do you know why we have that? And I was like, no, why? And he was like, somebody told him this or something, I don't know. He said, because you feed the birds and then they poop back there, and their bird poop or the seeds or something grows into that thistlewood or something. I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to stop feeding the birds, because that's one of my happiest things in the entire world. I mean, he wasn't asking me to, he was just telling me about that, but it was so funny. He and Sarah got such a kick out of me talking about my bird feeders that I made. And Sarah at first couldn't understand what I was talking about, like, at brunch today. And she was like, oh, she watches all my reviews. And she was like, I'm thinking about going to get a blonde vanilla latte from Starbucks, and she reviewed it. And I was like, it was really good. So she was going to go do that. But I said, did you see on my new channel, my Peter Does Stuff, that I made a bird feeder? And she said, how did you make a bird feeder? And I was telling her, she goes, oh, she goes, I did that when I was a kid. She goes, I thought you actually built, like, a bird feeder, like, you know, with hammer and nails and stuff. I was like, no. I said, and then the squirrels came, and I think they took some animal, squirrels or raccoons or something. They came and they took my pine cone. They would have had to pull those pine cones hard, though. Like, I had them tied really tight to the string. And what was so weird was, literally the night before the first pine cone that I looked at on that video, I went and looked, and it was still there. It was like, it was there, and it was like, it looked like all the bird seed was still on it, and, like, nothing had touched it. It wasn't frayed. It was, like, hanging perfectly in place. I couldn't see the second one because I went out there at night and I couldn't see in the dark. But I was like, this is so crazy that, like, out of nowhere they're just gone. So I don't know, some animal must have, I think an animal saw me. He was a detective squirrel, and I think that he saw me out there and wondered what was in that tree, and he went out there and got it. I don't know. But I do want to get some more bird feeders. I actually have been meaning to go to like the pet store, and there's also like this Sullivan's by us. It's like this hardware store, Sullivan's Hardware. It's really nice to see what kind of like bird feeders and stuff they have. I'd like to get those. I'd like to get one of those things that you can put the suet in that they won't come and take, because like my bird feeder that I got, which was a total waste of money, it's like you can't lock the suet thing in there. Do you know what I'm talking about? And like, so they can't just come and like eat off of them. My neighbor has one of those poles with a bird feeder on it, but she doesn't fill it. And I said, why don't you fill it? And she was like, I don't know. She's like, sometimes I don't know that I want all those birds back there. And I was like, oh, okay. Her tomatoes are still growing. We are such slow, simple people in our neighborhood. I swear, it's like the things I sit there and talk to my neighbors about, and this has been the happiest I've ever been. So I'm sitting there talking to my neighbor. She was out there and she was reading the other day. She had like this tall glass of water. It looked so refreshing, and she was reading on her back patio, and I was standing there talking to her when I took the dogs out, because they of course go crazy when they see her. And I said, your tomato plants are still growing. And she was like, yeah. She was like, I feel like I need to go collect them. And I said, I mean, she literally probably had 30 tomatoes out there, 20 tomatoes or something. I said, I can't believe you've got so many tomatoes. She just like, and I said, and your kale, what happened to your kale? She goes, I just cut it down and got rid of it. It's huge kale. I can't believe that she just cut it down. I'm gonna pull into this neighborhood and see if you can see these houses at all. But anyway, I said, well, what are you gonna do with all these tomatoes? And she said, I think I'm gonna make like a tomato sauce or something with it. She's real like earthy and artsy like that. I love that about her. She paints these, I can't even see, it's so dark back here, I can't even see where the street is. She paints like these glass squares that you can get and put in and stuff. I have a feeling you're not gonna be able to see anything. I haven't been down this street in forever. It's called Corner Brook. Oh my God, it's so cute though. Some of these people down here, I'm just gonna show you, and I don't know if you can see anything, but they're all Victorians. Do you see? Let's see this one right here. It's so cute. Yeah, they all have Halloween decorations on them. Can you see this? It's like a whole street of Victorians, and they're really nice ones too. This one right here has all kinds of Halloween decorations. Now this one on the end, they were out there and they had a fire burning, and it is humongous. This one right here. I can't shine my brights on it, so you can't really see. But, and they have those old like white mailboxes and stuff. I can't tell if Tanya texted me or if she just called me. She just called me. What if somebody ran up to my door right now? I'd be like, ah! Oh, somebody did that to me the other night. A couple people were like, oh, that was so fun. Oh, now it's going out of focus. I hate that it does that. There we go. So many people were like, oh my God. Somebody said, that was so adorable when Peter got scared. What is adorable about me getting scared? Hello, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that... No, I don't think that's very adorable at all that Peter got scared. Are you guys ready for spooky, scary season? Oh my God, I am. Halloweeny, I love it so much. I haven't watched any horror movies this weekend. I'm gonna have to. Scary, scary. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. Is that from Oliver? I don't know that I've ever seen that movie all the way through. I don't know what I'm gonna read when I'm, last night on Audible, I bought 3 more credits. I don't know why I did this to myself, but I did. And I bought the sequel to Magical Midlife Madness. The sequel is called Magical Midlife Dating. And then the third book comes out sometime next year, I think in May. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to that next, because at least then I will have that done when the next one comes out, so I'm caught up in that series, if that makes sense. And then I think I'm gonna go back and listen to the series that I'm listening now to, or I don't know, I might like jump some series and see. Well, I guess it depends on how much I really like this book. I mean, if I really end up liking this book, then I'll continue to listen to it, right? Like, but if I don't, then I won't continue with the series. But now I have like 5 or 6 series that I'm so excited about reading and starting. I'm just like, oh my God, like I have all these comfy, cozy mystery series. I was trying to explain to Tanya today what a cozy mystery is. And I was like, so it always kind of has like, there's a woman and she's like either been divorced or widowed, or for some reason she has to like either move to a small town or move to her hometown. And then she moves there, and she always either buys like a coffee shop or turns her house into like a bed and breakfast or a guest house. This is true story, kind of how they all are. And I said, and then she either always has like a child or she inherits a pet when she moves in this new town. And each like book is a different mystery of something that happens, you know? And she's like, and so anyway, Tony just like laughed. I said, you never did read that Dorinda Jones book? And she goes, no, I don't like funny books. She goes, the reason why is honestly I don't like funny books. And I said, well, the whole book isn't funny. I said, the book is like a really good mystery. I said, it's just kind of how they like communicate or talk back and forth that's kind of funny. And she's like, oh, she's like, I didn't know. She was like, okay. She was like, well, I'll check that out. I was like, okay. So anyway, I think I'm going to get off here in just a second. So, because I do want to listen to my audiobook now that I'm talking about it. I'm excited about it. So I'm going to do a long outro for you guys tonight, okay? So if you made it, because I know some people are like, I missed the long outros. Now I'm not going to do it every night, but I'm going to do it tonight for you. Okay. So, where do I don't even remember where I start anymore. Thank you for watching this video vlog tonight. If you made it this far in the video vlog and you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. And if you subscribed already to my channel, thank you for subscribing. Please make sure that you're still subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed already, please think about subscribing and think about being part of the OG Wolf Pack over here. Just a bunch of us trying to get through life one day at a time. Oh, I wanted to say really quick, trying to get through life one day at a time, just being kind and compassionate to other people. I wanted to say, somebody asked me about like an update on my back. My back is so much better, but I will say it depends on certain chairs that I sit in, I think, or how long I sit, that some days are better than others. There are some days that I feel just a little bit of a sharp pain. I need to talk to my doctor about it and find out, because like if that's like if he thought that all the pain would completely be gone, then I might have to have the back surgery, which I really, really don't want to do. It's outpatient procedure, but I just don't want to have it. But I literally thought the pain would be gone forever. And the pain, most days I don't feel it at all. But there are some days that I can feel like just a sharp pain up here. It doesn't go into my leg anymore. I can just feel it in here. Well, the other day, actually, the top of my leg hurt, but it wasn't where it usually is. It was different, so I don't know what that's about. But anyway, I need to call him anyway and do like a check-in. And so he told me, he's like, you don't need to come back if everything's fine, but at 2 weeks, everything was fine. So it was like right after that I had like one day where it was like sharp pain, and it didn't have to do with the roller skating. It wasn't associated with that or anything like that. So it was like a day that I had literally like filmed like a lot of videos. So I think that me sitting down for long periods of time might have something to do with it. But anyway, okay, back to the outro. If you guys made it this far in the video vlog, thank you, like I said. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you subscribed already, thank you for subscribing. Please check and make sure that you're still subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed already, think about subscribing. Think about being a member of the OG Wolf Pack. I would really appreciate it over here. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday, an amazing beginning to your week. Do something fun today. Do something exciting. Do something that will make you really happy. You deserve it. You're exchanging a day of your life for it. Also, do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it. I really have forgotten parts of this outro because I used to say, whether that's, I don't even remember now. I'll have to go back and look at an old vlog. I used to say something about that when you look back on it. I don't remember that one that was. Maybe I'll do a mix between the short and the long today. This will be a mixture, okay? And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you tell yourself, I love you. And at least one positive affirmation like you are valuable, or you are loved, or you are worthy of being loved, or you are funny, or you are talented, or you are beautiful. And, what else do I say on here? And also every night, say that to yourself in the morning and at night, that you love yourself in one positive affirmation. And every night before you go to bed, and every morning that you get up in the morning, say to yourself, today is going to be, or tomorrow, if you say it the night before, tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day today. I'm going to sing, I'm going to dance, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to cry if I need to or want to. I'm going to live my most authentic, genuine self today. I'm going to be true to myself. I'm going to be too much and live out loud and make myself happy. And if I have to work today, I'm going to do so with a smile on my face and try to be a positive contribution to the world. And if I don't have to work today, then I'm going to spend time doing things that I love to do, my passions and my crafts and those things that make me happy. And I'm going to spend time with family and friends if I can or if I want to. And if I can't or I don't want to, then I'm going to spend time alone and enjoy my own company or spend time with my pets or whatever, you know, maybe just listening to music or an audiobook or crafting or doing crosswords or whatever. Crosswords and crafting and crosswords. And I'm thinking about maybe I'll write a cozy mystery. What do you think about that? Should I write a cozy mystery? I've kind of really been thinking about it, honestly, because they're not so deep, so the mysteries don't have to be that tough. So let me think about it. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That will be the truth of whether you made it this far in the video or not. No emojis today. Just let me know if you think I should write a cozy mystery, because I have some ideas. So anyway, because you can be real cutesy and kind of funny, you know, and like not be super serious about the things you write in there, you know? Like, for example, the sheriff in this town that she moves to in the book that I'm listening to right now, Louisiana in a long shot, his name is Robert E. Lee. And you can do stuff like that and, like, you know, and be funny about it, and like it works in the context of the book. I love that kind of stuff. So anyway, and yeah, and also tell yourself that you're going to have great opportunities come my way all day today, and I'm gonna have positive experiences all day today. And if my day gets off track and I start getting a little bit negative or a lot negative, well, I can start my day over whenever I want. I can start my day over just like that. Just walk into the other room and say, I'm starting my day over right now. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and you let them know how much they mean to you. Just call them up or text them or even send them a letter. Send somebody a letter or a postcard. That would be really nice, you know? It was kind of nice today. I was trying to like reach out to some people, like my sponsor that I hadn't talked to in a while, and be like, hey, I just wanted to like see what's going on, and like Caroline and stuff. It was fun talking to some people I hadn't talked to in a little while, you know? And Caroline and we talked a couple days ago, but not for very long. So it was nice catching up with people. Felt like a kind of Sunday kind of thing to do, you know? I was like drinking my coffee and talking, and it just was fun, you know? But anyway, reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. And you're really making somebody's day when you do that. You're making them feel validated and important, like, hey, I matter to somebody, you know? And also, like I always say, practice random acts of kindness, but also, like I always say, don't tell anyone. Just do it because it's the right thing to do. Just do it because it's the nice thing to do. Just put some goodness and kindness and love and compassion out there in the world. And like I always say, I'm like now, like, what's that first thing I always say about looking back, whether it's like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to look back at my old outros. I don't remember how I used to say it it's the part where it's like, do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it, whether it's next week or next month or next year. I don't remember how I used to say it. I'm gonna have to, or 20 years from now, or 50 years from now, or 60 years from now, or 80 years from now, or 88 years from now, or 100 years from now, or 120 years from now, or 130 years from now. Is that how I said it? I don't remember. Anyway, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. But also, always lead with love, like it says in the 4 agreements that I said I was never going to say. But always lead with love. Lead with love in your heart and in everything that you do. And I love you guys so much. And I will see you tomorrow. I hope you have an amazing Monday. Bye. Love ya!